Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. How are you? Hope all of you are well by the grace of Almighty Allah. Welcome to NIEBS Home School. This is Shahjadi Akter, Assistant Teacher of Science of National Ideal English Version School, Day Shift. Today I am going to take a physics class for class 10 students. My dear students, our today's topic chapter 10, reading done part 1, today's lecture number 1. Okay, now start our class. My dear students, first you have to follow this class with this textbook, and this is chapter 10. Okay, this is chapter 10, static electricity, and this is our first class for half yearly term. Okay, now let's start. First, if we comb your hair in winter and then hold the comb near some small pieces of paper, you will notice that the pieces piece of the paper jump towards the comb, and again during storm, flashes of lightning and thunderbolts rumble and shake up the whole area. Static electricity is responsible in both cases. My dear students, the first experiment is very easy, and you can do this experiment at your home. Okay, everything, we know that everything around us consists of molecules and atoms, and the nucleus is the center of the atom, and the electron revolve around the nucleus. An electron is negatively charged and nucleus is positively charged. So, if one or more electrons can be separated in any way, static electricity is produced, and we will discuss the various processes of static electricity in this chapter. My dear students, now see, we know that everything around us consists of molecule and atom, and the nucleus is the center of the atom. See, this is considered, this one is nucleus, and this one is orbit, first orbit, second orbit, third orbit, and nucleus is positively charged, and electron revolve around the nucleus. And suppose, so the charge of the electron, this one is electron, so the charge of the electron is negative. So my dear students, we have learned that the nucleus is the center of the atom, and electron is negatively charged and nucleus is positively charged. And we know that nucleus consists of proton and neutron. Proton and neutron. We know proton is positively charged and neutron is charged neutral. That means there is no charge in neutron. So nucleus is positively charged. So my dear students, now go to next page. What is charge? If we comb your hair in winter and then hold the comb near some small pieces of paper, you will notice that the piece jump towards the comb. We have already done this experiment here, and in cold countries during winter air is very dry. When babies crawl on carpet, their hair seems to be straight, and it seems one hair is pushing the other. So all of you have seen thunderbolts during stormy night and observe how flashes of lightning come towards the earth. My dear students, this is the very common examples of the charges. In the attraction of paper, repulsion of air, and thunderbolt, all these things are the basic things behind these three phenomena in charge. Okay, so to know what charge is and why charges attract or repulse or create thunderbolts, we have to understand the basics, and we have to know how atoms and molecules are formed. My dear students, now again we said that we know that everything is made up of atom and molecule, and there are 118 atoms in this world. My dear students, this is important MCQ. There are 118 atoms in this world, and among which 83 are stable, and only with these atoms millions of different molecules are formed. Suppose water is made up of 2 hydrogen. Okay, we know that H2O. Okay, so here is hydrogen. Water is made up of 2 hydrogen atom and 1 oxygen atom. Okay, and sodium atom and 1 chlorine atom forms a table salt, that is sodium chloride, NaCl. Okay, sodium chloride. So 1 sodium atom and 1 chlorine atom makes sodium chloride, and a carbon with 4 hydrogen atom forms the cooking gas, that is methane gas, CH4. Okay, now boys, my dear students, nucleus is the center of the atom. We said that nucleus is the center of the atom and electrons revolve around the nucleus. The nucleus consists of proton and neutron. Okay, proton is positively charged and neutron is negatively charged. Okay, so the charge of proton of an electron is equal. Okay, the charge of proton and electron is equal. Okay, charge of proton and electron is equal but opposite. Okay, and the magnitude of this charge is 1.6. The magnitude of this charge is 1.6 into 10 to the power 19 coulomb. My dear students, you have to memorize this magnitude. Okay, this is important MCQ and for mathematical question you have to memorize this magnitude of the charge. Okay, the charge of the electron and proton is 1.6 into 10 to the power 19 coulomb. Just the charge of proton and electron is same but opposite. And in an atom generally there are the same number of electron and proton, and so an atom is charge neutral. Hydrogen is the simplest atom, my dear students. This is another knowledge based question and important MCQ. Hydrogen is the simplest atom. The nucleus of hydrogen atom consists of only one proton and only one electron, and that electron is revolving around the nucleus. And next atom is helium, which is consists of two protons in the nucleus. Okay, two electrons outside the nucleus. Okay, my dear students, so in this way larger atom are formed. And now come to next para. Electrons outside the nucleus do not revolve in the same orbit. Electrons outside the nucleus do not revolve around the same orbit. Okay, so as shown in this figure, electron on filling up one orbit, suppose here is 2 electron. Okay, this filling up this first orbit, then it will go the next orbit. Okay, then it will go to the next orbit and fill up this second orbit, then it will go to the next orbit. Okay, so see this figure. In this figure, this is the nucleus and this is the electron. Okay, so filling up the first orbit, then it will go to the second orbit, and filling up the second orbit, then it will go to the third orbit, and so on. So electrons orbits close to the nucleus are strongly bound. Okay, close to the nucleus is strongly bound, and but for some atoms, electron in outer orbit can be separated with a little effort, and ionization is the process of removing the electron. Now next, go to next page. Normally atoms are charge neutral, and that means there are an equal number of electrons and protons in an atom. But if an electron is removed from outermost orbit, then the number of proton is more than the electron, and the atom is not electrically neutral anymore. So the amount of positive charge within it increases. If one electron is removed, one positive charge is developed in the atom, and if 2 electrons are removed, 2 positive charges are developed. So we then say the atom has been ionized or charged. As an atom is positively ionized, it can be also negatively ionized or charged. That is, when one or more isolated electrons are attached to an atom, then the total charge of the atom is negative. The electrons of an atom revolve around the orbit, and there are certain rules about how the electrons will be distributed in the orbit. Sometimes in the last orbit there are 1 or 2 electrons that are nearly free, and in such material electrons can make movement very easily within the materials, and we call these materials electric conductor. So my dear students, we know that there are 3 types of material: conductor, semiconductor, and insulator. That means non-conductor or non-conductor. So there are some materials within which are no electrons that can move freely, and these materials electrons are tightly bound, and these are called non-conductor. That means in this type of conductor, the electron cannot pass This is called non-conductor. Suppose wood, plastic, glass, rubber, etc. are non-conductor. Okay, my dear students, see, metals like gold, silver, copper, etc. are good conductor of electricity. That means they are conductor. They can pass the electricity easily. Okay, so they are good conductor. And this example is very, very important for MCQ. Wood, plastic, glass, rubber, etc. non-conductor of electricity. Now go to next page. Static electricity by friction. If a glass rod is rubbed by a piece of silk, electrons start to move from glass to the silk. My dear students, see the figure here, given the figure. This is a glass rod. Suppose this is a glass rod and this is the silk. Okay, this is a piece of silk. And if we rub this glass rod by a silk, then electrons start to move from glass to the silk. Okay, so silk is negatively charged and glass is positively charged. So the glass rod is positively charged and the silk is negatively charged, and this happened because silk has more affinity for electrons. Okay, so then the glass. And again, if a plastic is rubbed using a flannel. See, this is a plastic and this is a piece of flannel. Plastic is positively charged and flannel is negatively charged. So if we rub a plastic using a flannel, then electron will move to plastic from the flannel, because plastic has more affinity for electron than the flannel. Okay, now we can do this experiment at home also. And suppose using a glass and silk, we have positively charged two pieces of glass. If we carefully hang one piece of glass with insulator silk and then bring the other close to it, then we will notice that the glass that is hanging is going away due to the repulsion. So my dear students, from this topic, from this discussion, we can say that same charge always repulse each other and different charge always attract each other. Okay, same charge always repulse each other, repel each other, and different charges attract each other. Okay, similarly, if we charge negatively two pieces of plastic and hang one of them with silk thread and bring the other near to it, we will see that the same result. Okay, one is repelling each other. So now if we bring the positively charged glass rod near to the negatively charged plastic rod, then we will see that they will attract one another. And we have when we learned gravitational force, there was only one type of mass, and we say that type of mass and one type of force. So it was attraction. Now we will see here two types of charge. My dear students, now we see here two types of charge, and sometimes attractive and sometimes repulsive. Okay, so now come to next topic, electrical induction. First we have to know that the same example, the negative charge has been gathered in and reason that is attracting one piece of paper, but the opposite charge attract each other. And same charge repel each other. Now we know the piece of paper have no charge, then why is the comb attracting them? So this happened due to the process is called electric induction. So my dear students, if a charge is accumulated in a glass of plastic and brought near a neutral body, then charge will be produced in the neutral body, and this is called electrical induction. So from this discussion we have learned that what is electrical discussion. So the definition of electrical induction will be, the process to charge an neutral body by bringing closer a charged body or object without direct contact is called electrical induction. My dear students, I am repeating, electrical induction means the process to charge an neutral object or body by bringing closer a charged object without direct contact is called electrical induction or electric induction. Okay, so memorize this definition. And now come to next topic, that this one is easy experiment. Now if a positive charge is accumulated in a glass rod by rubbing it carefully with silk, then it is brought near the sphere. Then negative charge of the sphere will come closer due to the attraction, and positive charge will move away towards the back portion in the sphere. My dear students, see this experiment in this figure. Here given a sphere, this is a metal sphere and this is a chargeless body. Okay, so if a glass rod by rubbing it carefully with silk, then it will be positively charged, and if we bring this positively charged glass rod towards the metallic sphere, then the metallic sphere will be negatively charged and the positive charge will go away from here, and it will go to the back portion. Okay, so now the glass rod is positively charged and the part of the sphere near to the glass rod is negatively, so they will attract each other. So positive and negative, so they will attract each other. Now we'll see and understand the phenomenon of attraction of paper by the comb. When negatively charged comb is brought near to the piece of paper, then the part of the paper closer to the comb is induced with a positive charge. My dear students, this experiment here given, see this is the figure. The negatively charged comb is close to the positively charged paper, and the paper and comb, it will positive and negative charge, it will attract each other. Okay, so while negative charge is induced in the further parts, so the positively charged part of the paper is attracted by the comb and negatively charged part of the paper is repulsed by the comb. But as the positively charged part of the closer to the comb, the attraction is more than the repulsion, and as a result the piece of paper jump towards the comb and being attracted by the comb. See, that one is the figure. And now piece of the paper which jump to the comb and attach to the comb almost immediately fall away. But why? If the piece of the paper gets attached to the comb due to the attraction, then it does not stay induced anymore, but itself becomes accumulated with negative charge by obtaining negative charge from the comb. So as a result, it gets repulsed by the comb and falls down. My dear students, now go to next topic, electroscope. What is electroscope? Electroscope is a wonderful equipment for test of static electricity. My dear students, this is an important knowledge based question. Electroscope is a equipment for test of static electricity. This equipment is very simple. To determine the presence of charge, electroscope is used, and it contains two leaves of gold, aluminium or some other metal. My dear students, see this figure. This is the figure of electroscope. Okay, then they have it has two parts or two leaves. That one is two leaves, first one, second one. Okay, and these two leaves are connected to a metal disc. See, this one is metal disc. These two leaves are connected with a metal disc by a highly contacted rod. This one is rod. See, this one is rod and this one is metal disc. Okay, so these two leaves are connected with a rod with this metal disc. Okay, and the whole setup is inside in a glass bottle, and with a non-conducting stopper. This one is stopper, this one is non-conducting stopper, and so that it can be seen from outside, but air or anything else cannot touch the light metal leaves. So my dear students, charging the electroscope. If a glass rod is rubbed by a silk, see this is a glass rod, and if the glass rod is rubbed by silk, then positively charge is accumulated. See that this is the positively charged of the accumulated in the rod. Now if the glass rod is touched the metal disc, if a glass rod is touched the metal disc, then the metal disc of the electroscope, so some charge will immediate go to the metal disc. Okay, some charge will immediate go to the metal disc, and as the disc connected to a metal rod, That's why the leaves of the charge will spread everywhere. This charge will spread everywhere. Okay, so then the similar charge appear in the gold leaves, and the similar charge always, we know that similar charge always repel each other, so the leaves will repulse each other and create a gap between them. My dear students, I think all of you have understood this experiment. Similarly, if a comb is rubbed with a flannel, then negative charge will accumulate in the comb, and if this comb touch this disc, then negative charge will spread to the gold leaves and they will repel each other and create a gap. So my dear students, I think all of you have understood our today's topic properly. Practice this topic at your home. See you again in the next class. Allah Hafiz.